Hey, good morning and happy Harness Your Hump Day. Big things going on in the United States today. It is inaugural day, and as I caught the news this morning, it looks like President Trump is already in his helicopter heading off into the sunset. So today, no guest. This is an open discussion between you and me on Facebook. And as we let people get on here this morning, what does that mean? My title, Facebook, wanted dead or alive. Well, today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the concerns that we've had with not only clients, but with people on, where does Facebook go from here in the future? A lot of divide. So if you have questions about Facebook, or you have comments, or you have your own input, put them in the comments below, and we'll discuss. If you have questions or comments, just put them below. I'm gonna grab some coffee out of my Pope Francis cup real quick. So Facebook, wanted dead or alive. Here are my thoughts on where this platform goes and if it's in trouble, if your business or organization should be on it. What do you do right now? So first and foremost, a lot of emotion. There's a lot of emotion going on with Facebook right now. A lot of divide between platforms, and if you want to just kind of label them, you've got your very ultra conservative and ultra liberal. You got these two factions vying. That's why we ended up with other separate platforms like Parler and other things that certain demographics and certain platforms and political affiliations were leaning towards. At the end of the day, we are in a very unique situation with social media. Now, we can either blame or we can thank President Trump for utilizing this platform in a way that's never been used before. We've used it for marketing and campaigning for political stuff, but we've never used it for influence. Now, I want to take you on a little bit of a history lesson here. Social media is just a media, right? It's no different than any other platforms they had in the times that our country has gone through disarray, whether it was printing press, whether it was distributing pamphlets, books back into the Civil War revolutionary days, pamphlets and things getting just scattered around. Those things were a form of media. Then we had Telegram and uniting us across the country. And we had phone. And then we had radio. Then we had images. Now, what's interesting with images is the more that we can utilize our senses, the more we remember. So TV was now showing us a visual with an auditory. And now we were able to literally kind of make these connections and form ideas and opinions. Up until then, we were creating our own imagination for what we were believing, and that was just as bad. So when we're looking at Facebook and some of these social media platforms today, we're combining a lot. These platforms are now uniting us to connect and have extended conversations that weren't happening before. We can now sit down, drink beer, have coffee on our phones. We're utilizing more senses. So the more senses that we're using, the more senses are enhancing our opinions and views. And that's just my take on it. So that's why we have this charged emotional connectedness with social media. So when it comes to your business, and we've talked about this in the past, you really should steer clear of any type of political affiliation, anything like that, unless that is a core principle of your business model or what you believe as a business owner. With that, you have to take the responsibility of what comes with that. Losing clients, getting bad reviews, all those other stuffs, right? You have to understand that your actions always will have consequences. We forget that sometimes. So where do we go with Facebook? Well, it's a platform, I hate to tell you, that is not going away anytime soon. The problem with what's happened in the next couple of months and upcoming 2 to 3 years, we're going to have social media platforms dividing us. Instead of having some platforms that we can unite and have civil conversation, What we're going to do is we're going to see platforms similar to Facebook, like Parler and other platforms, that we're going to go to where we're like-minded. So we're going to reinforce our ideology instead of having open dialogue and communication. I think it's very bad. But it also is forcing businesses to align, and organizations. Are we a liberal organization? Are we a conservative organization? Do we believe in pro-gun? Do we believe in against guns? Do we believe in abortion, immigration? All these things, these platforms are probably going to start sprouting up. And what that means is your business, and you probably, many of you are like me, I don't want to decide. Yeah, I'm pro-America. I believe in respecting the flag. I am pro-gun, but it's not something that I'm willing to go all out on my business with. The flag, yes. Veterans, yes. That is a core part of who I am in my business and the business model. But I'm not willing to bring that in because a lot of it is negativity. And honestly, I don't want to bring negativity into my business. There's enough of that going around out in the real world and dealing with real life. So what do you do as a business owner in an organization? Well, to be honest, you need to have an ideology. You need to have what your business stands for. And I think that's what you're going to start seeing people align with. And we've literally had people that said, we're not going to give any money to Facebook. We're not going to do any. I'm like, okay, but here's the reason why you should consider it. At the end of the day, we work for our clients. And at the end of the day, you have to decide what you're willing to do. But it is, I hate saying a necessary evil, but it is a platform that you need to be on for branding, for 100% branding. There's other platforms that you need to be on because, again, if you're not, your competitors, your potential competitors will be. So I'm interested. What do you guys think about Facebook moving forward in this presidency and moving on? Is it dead? Is it alive? Just put some comments down there or ask me some questions. I'm really interested. So we're going to stay on here for a little bit. Pope. We could all use a little prayers from the Pope. Hopefully, we'll get questions across all the platforms here. So we're streaming on my personal page, the Harness Digital Marketing page, Twitter, through Periscope, and through YouTube. So lots and lots of ways to catch this week. Oh, man. You know, another thing, just kind of a side note on Facebook, it's really interesting when you look at it as a whole, how it's evolved. And one of the questions that was kind of given to me was, you know, is Mark Zuckerberg in charge? And I got to be honest, I think he gave up control of really leading his business a long time ago. I think bigger corporations, bigger organizations, not a conspiracy theorist. I just think there's more outside influence now that I don't think he truly controls the direction and the vision, which is interesting from a small business or a business standpoint. Is when you start out, you have this ideology and you have this way of what you think your business is. And hopefully it's not focused on just making money. Hopefully it's about the service and the clients and the customers you work with. But I'm wondering if there's a point where Zuckerberg said, man, this thing got away from me and I didn't realize where this was going. And now he's just along for the ride. So it's interesting. What do you guys think about Facebook? Is it dead or alive? What's going to happen? Those of you that are business owners, or actually just you, are you dropping Facebook? You taking a break? You deleting it? Are you fed up? Are you going to go to a platform that's believes more of your beliefs, or are you going to stay on there? I'm just curious to see what you guys think. First part of waking up is coffee in your Pope cup. I can't see who all's on this morning on this platform, but good morning. Hopefully everybody is having a wonderful day. Let's get back here. You know, some other food for thought while we're waiting for some discussion points or some questions or comments is with Facebook going to, I guess, banning people and Twitter removing people when we have this, what is that saying about the society that we're living in right? What is it saying um, about where we're going to take freedom of speech? Good morning, Lindsay. Lindsay's question or her statement is, in my opinion, Facebook is not dead or dying. I believe it is too much of a source of information, whether it be right or wrong, dead on, and free advertising. It's a media outlet that offers instantaneous outreach. Even people who say they will not use it end up returning. That is a fact. Here's a cool statistic based on what Lindsay just said. Many times during Lent, those of us that are Catholic or in a faith where we give up something during Lent, they will give up social media. And the social media they give up, they usually will come right back. So you can see this drop and then comes back. And then typically, people will only stay off of Facebook or remove it for 30 days. And then they come back. Why? They're sucked back in. Chris, good morning from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Wondering, do you have any snow out there? Any snow? Wondering? Hopefully you're being safe. Chris, what are your thoughts on Facebook? Wanted dead or alive? Is it dead or is it going to come back? Let's see what Sean has to say this morning. Sean says, I agree it's not going anywhere, but you will have other platforms develop requiring a company to advertise on each of them to reach each and every one. Yeah, I don't know if you caught the very first part of this, Sean, but I talked about, I think we're going to start to see platforms spin off or split off, much like churches, much like the first, second, and third insert the denomination church, right? So I think we're going to start seeing platforms like Parler and other ones that are going to be more like-minded, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not. I think we need to learn how to communicate effectively with each other. And we need to do that through people that can model those behaviors on social media. And, many times, and I'm going to say probably 75% of the people that say and post the things on social media, I don't think they would say to their grandma or they would say in person. I think there's such this disconnect. It's very different to have this conversation and then have it in person. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Chris says, no snow in Tennessee. Good. Oh, man, I love Tennessee. Such a beautiful, beautiful place over there. Unfortunately, that has been a state that most of the people I know have defected from Illinois. They've gone to Tennessee. So yeah, Facebook is such a beast, and Twitter. My concern is, with President Trump being banned and no more tweets coming from the presidency, I think Twitter's probably dead. That's my prediction. I think in 2 to 3 years, with the president not being on there, and I don't know, I just don't see it having. I think it's going to start dying off. I think that was a bad decision on their part to ban former President Trump. I guess it's not official until the inauguration, but yeah. As a business owner, I'm always thinking of internally, how can we make a business better, right? And I always ask the question, what am I doing or not doing to make my business successful, right? What did Chris say here? What do we got? Chris, come back. Too many people are afraid they will miss something, so I think give it 2 months, but I do believe that you will see a new growth in media base that will be better than Facebook. I like that prediction. And it's always about leading by example, and I think that one of the things I've always tried to do is to make sure that my personal side, though there's certain things I don't share, but when people come up to me or they see me in person, I want them to feel the same connectedness, the same that they see their perception of me on social media. So creating that, I don't want to call it a brand, but I mean, I guess in a sense it is, but making sure that I'm authentic. And it's like a person that believes in the Bible or believes in faith, people kind of use that against them. You can't ever make a mistake and you always have to be perfect. No, that's not it. Just like businesses, we're going to make mistakes. We just need to be authentic and own it. There's nothing worse than seeing a company sell themselves, and then when you get there, it's nothing like that. The best industry I can tell you that is like the hotel industry, right? With all the photos that are staged of where you're going to stay, and then when you get there, it's not necessarily like that. That's always what I'm always concerned with when we market our companies and our businesses and organizations. Good morning, Galen. Oh man, I have missed working with you. You want to talk about a child advocate? Man, Galen, we worked together when I taught in Heron. He was an advocate for kids. Man, just an amazing man. I hope you are off to a great start in 2021, and may you continue to be blessed and enjoy retirement, my friend. You definitely did your service to our community. Okay, anything else I want to add? Any other questions you want to know about Facebook, Dead or Alive? Put it in the comments below, and I'll kind of just wrap up a couple. Let me see how much time I have left here. Yeah, got just a little bit. So some final thoughts, unless we get some comments or some questions. Some final comments on Facebook specifically. If your business is not on, it needs to be on like yesterday. Moving forward, you need to be consistent with your content, your brand. You need to vary it up, and don't let politics come into play in your business. I mean, I really believe that. I had a meeting with a financial advisor yesterday, and I'm going to screw this quote up, and it was Kalen. I think Kalen said it from Edward Jones, and it was what was it? Don't let politics choose your portfolio or run your portfolio. I'm going to tell you, don't let politics run your business. I'm going to steal that kind of line off of him. I think that you can have some ideology and you can have some beliefs in what you want to stand for as a person. And if those are that important in your business model, then I'm all for that. But at the same time, I think you need to realize that in the world that we live in, you need to be able to accept the responsibilities for your actions. Okay. Oh, got a question from Lindsay. I know that if these were in person, Lindsay, these would not be quite so polite. I'm just kidding. What is your opinion on how to stand for your views and values without being corralled into one group or another on social media? Okay, it's simple. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. There's a line in old Meatballs, a movie called Meatballs with Bill Murray, and he's trying to rally the troops about trying to go against the big giants of the camp across the lake. And he just starts saying, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter, people are conditioned to put us all into groups. The quicker that we can accept us for who we are and our beliefs, and that there's not a right and a wrong, obviously there's certain parameters in there, Lindsay. We don't kill human beings. We try to value. I mean, there's certain things in there, right? But then when we say that, we start associating those with like abortion and gun control and all these other issues and what political affiliation we are. We need to stop putting these people into groups or category. And when I say these people, it's everybody. We need to stop putting everybody into these categories and allow them to make mistakes, allow them to be different. It's interesting when politicians flip-flop, they're criticized for that, right? My question always is, I wonder what happened in their life to allow them to see this view in a different light, right? Especially when it comes to gay and lesbian rights or LGBTQT. Lots of very hardcore, whether it's even liberal or conservative, against it, and then they change. And you'll find out that one of the key factors was they had someone very close to them that did. And it wasn't that they were being hypocritical. They had a different perspective because it became personal. There are so many things that go on in life that we feel like we know, but we don't until we walk in those shoes, literally, and God allows us to do that sometimes. But, Lindsay, there's things that you've gone through I can be sympathetic to, but I really have no clue. I don't know what it is having a son that has needs and that is fighting daily, weekly, monthly for those needs, those basic needs for her son. I don't know that. I can sympathize and and respect it, but I don't know. So therefore, I really can't comment on it or do anything. And I think when we get into these politics, you know, I'm not going to condemn someone that wants to end all guns and all bullets for guns because their family member, their son, their daughter was killed. I don't know, and I don't want to know, right? But I come at it from a different perspective, which is being a veteran and understanding our civil rights and understanding that we need to keep this society a democracy so that we don't go back. And historically, that's what can happen. So you have these two viewpoints, and whether it's even social media, what's right and what's wrong, we have these viewpoints that we really need to be just respectful. I'm an 80s, 70s, 80s kid, right? That's when I went to school, graduated in 92. During the 80s, they had there's lots of courses and classes they were putting in elementary schools and junior highs on conflict resolution. And I think they realized back then kids were struggling with how to deal with emotions and how to talk. We are now adults, and I think our generation does a fairly good job, the Gen Xers. We're not perfect by any means. I think the millennials do a much better job than us, and I'm hoping that there's hope for us in the future with them. But, we just have lost respect, and we need to get back to that as quick as we can. Lindsay says probably not on the it just doesn't matter comment. So it's interesting to see where Facebook's going to go. I'm kind of with, I think it was Sean that said there might be a decline, and then Chris, a decline possibly, but then just come back bigger and better and stronger. I mean, it's just a part of our life. I had to consciously stop watching the news. It's been kind of drilled in me, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, just turn on, see what the news is, right? And I noticed taking that out of my daily routine really changed how I kind of was positive and how I picked up things. Now, doesn't mean that I don't catch their news on social media feeds or I fact check something that I'm interested in. I just don't watch it. I'm not conditioned that. So I think we've just conditioned ourselves with social media. And the last thing I'll tell you is if you don't like what's in your feed, don't blame Facebook for everything. That feed is an algorithm based on your interactions. So the mirror is on you, my friends, that a lot of times that what you're seeing is what you're engaging with and what you're putting out. So what you're putting out is what you're getting back. I tell people all the time, I don't get a lot of the negativity. I just don't see it. And what it is that I focus on the positive things and interacting. I put a lot of happy birthdays out there. So a lot of posts I see are say happy birthday to this person. I try to put some faith, motivation, veteran stuff. That's what I see. Doesn't mean I don't see some of the negativity, but that's primarily what I focus on. So I've taken up a lot of your time this morning. If you do have any questions or comments about Facebook, wanted dead or alive, put them in the comments. I'll go back through and answer some of these, and we'll have a good discussion. But thank you guys for tuning in this week to Harness Your Hump Day. If you get a chance, every Monday evening, you can catch Crystal Davis on the Marketing Makeup Monday. She gives amazing tips. I was a little bit behind. I had to catch up and watch some of them the other day. She has grown so much in those marketing makeup tips. There's some great tips in there if you are on Zoom meetings a lot on how to increase your brand on that. And she gives some great just advice on your goals for 2021. So take a look at her. Every Monday you can go on our Facebook page. There's a playlist just for Marketing Makeup Mondays. And give her a shout out and let her know that I plugged her on Harness Your Hump Day. Okay, please do that. And then if you found value in the discussion today or you want to support Harness Digital Marketing, give us a review on Facebook, Google, help us out here, and we will enter you in for a chance to win one of our Catalyst Black Sheep Catalyst shirts, large size only. So everybody go out into the world, be the reason someone smiles, and if we can hashtag turn the light bulb on for your business or organization, please reach out to Harness Digital Marketing. Our team and I are ready and willing to help you stand out. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day, and peace be with you.